Nikola Jokic has gotten off to a scorching hot start to the NBA playoffs, and one can argue that he's been the best player in the postseason, just as one could argue he was in the regular season. Jokic is a two-time MVP, and as previously mentioned, one can argue he should have won it for the third straight year this season. He's established himself as one of the very best players in the league, and whenever he's on the floor, the Nuggets have been well above average, despite the lack of good luck and health over his MVP seasons. Despite this, there's been several narratives filled with doubt around Jokic and the Nuggets who have finally gotten healthy. Some of those questions pertain to Jokic's defense and how it might get exploited in the playoffs and lead to the Nuggets' downfall rather than a potential championship run. Jokic is by no means an all-world defender. In fact, he's not a good one. However, his offensive dominance is so historical that it doesn't diminish his case as the league's best player, not being a difference maker on the other end. Being the first player ever throughout 10 playoff games to have over 300 points and 90 assists, a player like Jokic is quite literally something we have never seen. But what makes Nikola Jokic so game-breaking on offense? That's what we'll discuss. Anyone who's watched Nikola Jokic for at least 30 seconds can come to the conclusion that he is one of, if not the very best passer to ever touch a basketball. His vision, size, processing, touch, velocity, and array of arm slots allow him to make any pass imaginable. This allows him to thread crowded passing lanes and hit open players that are at least a couple passes away from most other players. Coupled with his passing, Jokic is one of the best scorers in the NBA. In the regular season, the Joker averaged 24.5 points per game to go along with his 9.8 assists and 11.8 rebounds per game on an absurd 70.1% true shooting, the highest mark of any qualifying volume scorer in the league. In the playoffs, although Jokic has seen a decline from his outlier efficiency, he's seen an increase in volume and still remains incredibly efficient. The ability to be efficient scoring the ball from nearly every area on the floor makes Nikola Jokic unguardable when facing single coverage. Kevin Durant talked about Jokic's scoring prowess and how every shot seemed easy for him.
Yeah, I felt like all of those shots felt like they was easy shots, and he just played a game at a pace that you can't speed him up, fluster him. He's strong. He can make every shot. I mean, I hate when he makes shots because he's so unorthodox, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a miss, and then it goes straight in. He's incredible, and I thought he carried them.
Despite the fact that Jokic is unguardable facing single coverage, he receives more single coverage looks than any other player that's ever been considered as the best player in the world. The reason this is the case is because of how otherworldly he is as a passer. Double teaming the Joker is more harmful than leaving him in single coverage, as he will diagnose the coverage and shred the double team by hitting the open player who will more likely than not convert on the opportunity. In the context of the Denver Nuggets, who have some of the best off-ball players and cutters in the league, it makes a defense's job that much more harder and Jokic's job that much more easier to get open shots for his teammates. Coupled with being the most efficient scorer in the league and being the best passer in the league, Jokic also has elite ancillary traits. He's a fantastic cutter, is the best pick-and-roll big, and the best handoff big in the league, and is of course so dominant in the short roll. Nikola Jokic is the most unstoppable player in basketball. There is absolutely no answer for him. You can't speed him up, nor can you slow him down. He plays at his own pace. You can't rely on shooting luck to be in your favor, as he's more than willing to defer to others when a shot is not falling, and he's also able to create high-level looks at free will. Physical defense doesn't work against him, as he's almost always more physical than the defender. And once again, you can't double team him. He can make every pass imaginable, and couple that with the fact that he can make every shot imaginable as well. There's a reason he had one of the most efficient scoring seasons ever. He is the king at generating efficient looks both for himself and others. Knowing all that you know now, I leave you with this question. Is Nikola Jokic the best player in the world? Thank you for tuning in. To see more from me, follow me on social media. But until next time, peace.
Get up, let me begin. This is TWSN. You ain't heard about us yet, well you better know now, because it's the place that it all goes down.